Looks like we've got the notification. Got my TV on, got my cameras, my lights are on. So, guys, I think we are live now. Welcome, everybody, to our next episode of Count the Bucket. As yes, we got some comments going in here. Let's go, Perry and the Color Cast. CJ, Nick, so glad to have you back in our episode finally with playoffs, like actually round in playoffs. First of all, let me say this. Happy Easter to you guys, and how you all doing?
Doing well, bro. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Doing good. And I had a great Easter. Went fishing today. It was kind of spur of the moment. You know, it's kind of weird for me to search for eggs now, so I had to do some other things. Actually, my brother-in-law, he was like, hey, so I bought some bait, and I was thinking about taking my son to go fishing. You want to go? And then my dad's like, hey, yeah, I want to go too. I'm like, we're all going. Let's go. So we made a whole big thing out of it.
Hey, never stop looking for eggs. You might find $1,000.
Well, my daughter, my oldest daughter, she found 2 golden eggs when we did our little hunts with all the grandkids, what we say to them all, and there's like 15 of them. She found 2 golden eggs. I didn't even know we hid anything with special things in it. She come up with ones had $5 in it, the other one had $7. I'm like, girl, I think you owe me some money here. Like, I bought you enough Happy Meals. I would like, a McFlurry or something here. So
now she can buy herself one.
That's right. But no, she'll end up buying one of them eggs. I don't know if y'all have got kids or anything like that, but there's these little hatchable eggs now. They're all this great big thing that they love. They break the eggs up and they get a fluffy animal. I'm like, I would like to buy what I know what I'm getting. You don't know what the animal is until you open up the egg. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Anything special you guys do today? Or did?
I ate some ribs today. How about that?
Ate some ribs. Good. What about you, CJ? What'd you have for dinner?
Some mac and cheese, some baked chicken. Spent some time with the fam. It was good today.
Spent time with the fam. Shout out to the fam.
Yes, sir.
Good. Always got to be with fam. Perry's on her Facebook. Just put in here, where's Amber at? She has messaged us on Twitter, said she'll probably be around closer to 10 o'clock. She told us just go ahead and go live. I was going to say
that was supposed to be the surprise, man.
We kind of going to go ahead and I guess opening up that Easter egg there of a surprise. Thanks, Perry. Golly. But Amber will be joining us. If you're longtime fans of the show of Count the Bucket, Amber basically is the godmother of the show. So I don't think I've ever said it that way. Like I said, godfather, but. So she's the OG of the show and excited for her to come back on. I've got her receipt over here somewhere. I'm sure she'll probably try to make me pull it out. She wants to brag a little bit, I'm sure. So,
hey, she was right, though. The Cavs made the play-in. She was right.
She was right. And we kind of looked at her like she was
delusional. I'll admit. I was like, Amber, you crazy. And then Cleveland had the year that they had. It's crazy
because I remember you and me, Nick, at least was talking about you got the Pacers that are looking kind of nice right there at the beginning of the year. Like, how are they not going to make the playoffs or at least the play-in game? So we were like, that would be the team they have to take out. I just don't see them falling that far behind against Cleveland. Of course, look what they did. But we're already in a few minutes here. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the playoff rounds. What game did you guys enjoy? Well, I'm still going to ask, what game were you all intrigued with most? We'll say it that way first. We'll start with you, CJ, since you're on top this time. Sorry, Nick, I didn't put you on top. I apologize.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm in the middle, technically, so.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know where Nick's gonna go, but I'll go opposite of today. I'll say Memphis and Minnesota.
Okay.
I think two young teams. With a lot of upside, a lot of potential going forward. Ja Morant, MVP candidate for sure. And then Anthony Edwards, we saw what he did in the play-in, the way he stepped up against the Clippers, and he really just continued that same hot streak that he had in Memphis, 36 points, 6 assists.
Nick, you're still muted on Colorcast real quick.
Oh, hang on.
Okay.
Thank you, Perry, for that, by the way.
He had a couple steals, so that was the one I was intrigued about the most. I saw a lot of people talking about Memphis in 5. Some saw sweeps. Twitter, the overreaction is insane after certain things. But after watching Game 1, I think it's going to be a really good series. Nice back and forth between some young rosters.
Yeah, since CJ stole my pick, I'm gonna go with today's earlier game, which was the Celtics and the Nets. Obviously, this is unusual circumstances because considering the two firepower that the Nets have, nobody expected them to be the 7th seed, and then of course with Boston having the turnaround that they had, it was just remarkable. But one of the keys to the game, obviously, the Celtics came out super intense defensively, really smothered the Nets. Didn't allow them to get whatever they want, but then all of a sudden, fourth quarter comes around, Kyrie Irving goes absolutely ballistic. It honestly looked like Brooklyn was going to take them on, to be honest, but unfortunately, Brooklyn just defensively has not really been that great all year, to say the least, and it definitely showed on display in today's matchup. But that was such a sloppy play by the Celtics, though. Like, for them to be able to get that shot off, to be able to get the ball to Tatum, and then for him to get that lay-in with the seconds left, that was just crazy to me. So if it's not Memphis and Minnesota, which I do expect that series to go 7, Brooklyn and Boston is probably going to go 7 as well. And honestly, I'll be real. I know it's game 1, and I know the Celtics got momentum. I still don't know who's going to take that series. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to quickly go with Brooklyn because of KD and Kyrie, but I think the Nets have some issues that they have to work on. Same thing with the Celtics, particularly, with Robert Williams and whenever he comes back. So that one's going to be a dogfight as well going forward.
I would say the game that I was intrigued to watch and just kind of see how to go is not really a 1 seed against 7 seed or anything, or 8 seeds kind of matchups like that. I was really anxious to see how Dallas would do in the playoffs with Luka, who I thought, and just see how this team's going to do with Jason Kidd as the coach, just the bad year they had last year coming into this season, looking fine after they made the trade, all the headlines going against the Nuggets, and just what's going to go on here. And then we get to the playoff, and now Luka may even miss round 2 or game 2, they're saying. So I was really hoping this game or this series would be fun to watch, but I almost feel like not having Luka in there almost takes that away. I'm not saying it's not going to be a good series. It's just it's going to be hard to kind of watch it. It's like watching Saved by the Bell without Zach Morris on there. It's still a great show, but Zach Morris ain't on there no more. So it just kind of loses its flavor with that. But I'm really kind of anxious to keep watching it and see how this goes. And I can't wait to watch some of these games. I haven't been able to watch any games the past 2 days because of work and then, of course, with Easter today. But I'm really glad the Heat gave it to the Hawks, really. But even in some of the interviews, because you guys know I'm a Heat fan, that's why I like that. But I watched one of the interviews trying just to keep myself updated what's going on. Jimmy Butler's like, one of the interviewers were saying, you guys played so great. How did you all demolish them so much? He's like, they missed a lot of shots. Like, we can't really say we did great. Like, the Hawks weren't hot, and they're going to not continue to do that. So we've got to tighten up on some of our defense. So I still think that's going to be a good series. But I'm kind of curious to see how this Bulls game actually or series is going to go. Like, I felt like the Bulls defense, kind of like me and CJ were talking a little bit there, was a little more surprising on what they did with the Bucks. And of course, I won't, Corey, if he's in here, he may hate me on this, but I've not really bought into Giannis is a great, I'm going to go, when I say great, not just a great, but a elite great playoff player. Let me throw in the word playoff because in game, wait, I see the faces. Hang on. Let me finish out. Let me at least finish out. Colorcast is like, what's going on here with these faces? But what I mean by that is on the half-court offense is what I'm saying. Like, you can't – Drew Holiday helped him tremendously last year. Y'all agree with me on that, right? I guess that's what I'm saying. So Giannis is going to have the help there, and I'm just thinking the Bulls, if you keep Drew Holiday in check some, that's going to help you as far as playing against the Bucks. Maybe I'm using too big of words and saying that Giannis isn't a great elite player. I'm just saying when it comes to half-court offense, we have seen in the past when Giannis is expected by himself to do stuff, it's a struggle. I won't say he struggles. It's a struggle. So Drew Holiday, to me, in the playoff time is super important for this Bucks team. Now, I'm not saying the Bulls are going to upset him and put him out first round. I just want to see how Giannis is going to handle this half-court set offense where it's playoff times and the harder defense. I'm anxious to see how it goes. I'm not saying that he's not going to do it. So don't kill me or anything yet here, guys. But what are you guys thinking on there? Because CJ's face was great. I can't wait to see this. Let's see. Oh, Nick, I was going to say, somebody in the comments said Bucks sweeping the Bulls. I think it's probably going to be maybe 5. I think Bulls may pull one out on them, but
I doubt
the
it.
Bucks is definitely a bigger, better team on
I
this.
could see them getting one at United, but other than that,
at home. Other than that,
Yeah.
they're not going to steal one from the Bucks. I just want to see what the Bulls do on defense, and maybe some of these other teams will see that and maybe try to take advantage on that later on. But
yeah, we talked about this a little bit before the show started. I was saying, you know, they were off for about 8 days, so that but they came out and played well, and then they kind of slowed down a little bit as the game went on. I think the Bulls they did a good job defensively, closing out on Giannis, making it tough. But Giannis gonna do what he does at the end of the day, and yeah, he had 27 and 16. So I mean, you just gotta try to stop those other guys, contest, make it tough for Middleton, make it tough for Holiday, who at times have been inconsistent throughout some series, and then when it matters, they seem to step up at key moments. I don't think it's going to help them. I don't think it's going to help Chicago win this series. I don't think they're going to win, but it's definitely you're right about they're definitely some things that these other playoff teams as they advance can look at to try to stop the Bucks. But to me, it's I think Giannis already proved he's an elite playoff player last year. I mean, yeah, 50 points, 15 rebounds, five blocks in a elimination.
Let me just say, like, that Giannis 50-point closeout in Game 6. I think that's up there with MJ's flu game. In my opinion,
for sure, yeah, for sure, definitely. It's one of the best games ever. I mean, just the way how dominant he was on both ends, and he was unstoppable out there. I think he's already proved that. To me, it's going to be the other guys. It's going to be Middleton and Holiday. They're going to have to continue to stay great throughout the playoffs in order for them to try to repeat. It's a tall task, but I mean, I think they'd probably be one of the favorites outside of maybe Boston. I think it's going to be whoever comes out of the Boston-Brooklyn series. To me, would probably give Milwaukee the most problems. I like Miami as well. I think they're good, but to me, I just feel like they're missing that other guy next to Jimmy Butler to take them over the hump. But we'll see how that plays out.
Sorry to interrupt you here. They're saying they can't hear you on Colorcast, CJ.
Oh wow, I don't know. It says
It shows that you're on.
Yeah, that's weird. I'll try to get that fixed for you guys.
Okay. Nick, if you don't care, go ahead and start talking. Let's
okay.
Anything.
But just basically picking up from what like CJ mentioned about the Bucks last year. But their formula was pretty much like it really worked. So Giannis was the guy that that was in attack mode, really dominating the game. But then once you went down to the stretch in the fourth quarter, and you saw it like throughout like the last 4 games of the finals against Phoenix, it was Chris Middleton who was really closing out the game with his clutch performances. So. Maybe they need to go back to that. I mean, Giannis has proven throughout the season that he is clutch. Obviously we saw that in the Brooklyn game that they played a few weeks back before the season ended. So I don't know if maybe like having Middleton as their closer is what they need to go back to, honestly. But in my opinion, I think the Bucks are also missing like a Marcus Smart type player. Like you remember like last year. Last year they had PJ Tucker, who was really an enforcer for that team. And now, obviously, he's in Miami now, so they don't necessarily have that. So who's really their true enforcer? Is it Bobby Portis? Is it Brooke Lopez? Like what I'm saying? Who is really that guy for them? So I'm not saying that's a big issue, and that's not a reason why they won't repeat. But having guys like that who who's gonna scrap and who's gonna do all the dirty work, that necessarily helps. We saw last year PJ Tucker gave KD a lot of problems in that semifinal series, and even in the finals, he gave Devin Booker and other guys issues as well. So. Right. The Bucks, in my opinion, they still have a pretty good chance of repeating this year. But I will say, like, it is definitely going to be tough because whoever comes out of that Brooklyn-Boston series is definitely going to give them issues. Miami might even give them issues. Even Philly, if they make it that far, I don't think Philly will make it that far. But if Philly does, they could possibly give them some issues, especially when you have guys like Tyrese Maxey who's dropped at 38 in the first game. So, what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be an easy ride for Milwaukee, and I think to a degree they understand that.
Listen, apparently they can't hear you either, Nick. So if you guys don't care, just close the app completely out and bring it back up, and we'll try to start it back up with you guys, see if we can get it going. If nothing else, I'll unplug my headphones and we'll just run you through my speakers.
All right, hang on.
Because that's no good. All right, Nick's out. Or I'm sorry, CJ's out. It says Nick's thinking. Come on, Nick.
Where is it? Oh, here it is. Here we go.
I'm going to send a speaker to you, CJ, instead of do caster this time. Maybe something with that. I don't know.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
See, it's purple around your circle there. It's like it's your speaker's going or your microphone's going.
Can you hear me through there?
You got us muted here now, CJ.
Can you hear me on the color cast though?
I tell you what, I'm sitting here thinking, well, let me turn up my volume on here. Go ahead, speak again.
You can hear me?
I can't hear him through my color cast.
Go ahead.
No, I'm trying to see if I don't see the purple circle around moving.
I see the purple circle around me.
I can hear you, Nick, but I cannot hear CJ.
Wow. Let's try again.
We're getting there, guys. Stay with us.
Technical difficulty, just like yesterday in that Memphis game.
Yo, that was crazy.
Yeah.
What happened? Like again, I have not seen a single game.
So it was like the first quarter, and then like I don't know what happened. Like ESPN, it just started like making some crazy sound, and then it just like cut the game off. And then for like a good 30 minutes, it was the countdown crew that was calling the game, like Jalen Rose, Stephen A.
Had to mute them, bro.
Really?
Stephen A was making me mad. I'm like, bro, I can't listen to y'all, bro.
Can't do it, bro. I'm a good halftime, pregame, the whole game. Nah.
Yeah. Like people were so happy when they heard Richard Jefferson's voice again.
Because I don't know if you guys know this. I think you guys do. I don't like Stephen A. that much at all. Like, I literally, if I'm like watching ESPN, like they get up and then it switches over to First Take, I will literally turn my TV off because I do not want them to get the rating from me. I don't even like if I'm just doing something in the room, I don't want it to be like, oh, Stephen A. has a fan. No, I will turn it off or change something just to not help him. Do you all like him? I don't even think he does it great.
I think he's a good analyst, but I think now, in my opinion, I don't know who's watching. There might be some people from ESPN watching. I don't know. But I feel like now it's more for like clickbait, like, for viewings, like, so like even for me, like, like I used to watch First Take a lot, but it's like they just recycle so many topics, like, oh, who's better, KD or LeBron or Giannis or KD, and it's like, bro, like there's so much going on in the NBA, like there's so much more to talk about, in my opinion. Like, let's talk about the Grizzlies, let's talk about the Timberwolves, like, like let's bring up these teams. Like the Lakers lost like 20 straight games, and they were still talking about the Lakers. Like, I don't want to hear about the Lakers. Like, I'm done. I'm done.
It's even like that. Of course, I'm a Cowboys fan when it comes to the football part of it, but it's like the Cowboys lost again. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe what's worse with the Cowboys. I'm like, guys, I don't want to hear about the Cowboys. We shouldn't even be on here. But it's like that with the Lakers. It's like whatever is viewed most, I guess. And it makes sense, I guess, because – right now, if we were to do like a commentate, how you could do on Colorcast, watch a game and actually talk about it, if you did the LA Lakers, even though they were so bad this year, you would have a lot of people just watch it because it's the Lakers. So I feel like that's why they do it a lot. So I understand it. They got the viewers. But let's be honest. Right now, Booker is on the best team in the NBA by record. He should have been in more NBA talks as far as being at least in the MVP talks.
So
right?
I'm gonna say this. Unfortunately, like politically, you're right. Whenever like a player has the best player in the league or the best record in the league, normally they are in those talks.
If this was Golden State, Steph Curry would be MVP.
It's tough to because this is my thing though. Like Booker's had a good year. I'm not gonna discredit Booker, but has he really stood out amongst other guys like Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, John Morant? Who else do you want to name? Luka. Like, what I'm saying? In my opinion, even though Booker's been that great, he hasn't stood out individually
Perry says
like those
Booker,
other guys.
Nick is a Booker hater. I totally agree with this.
I love Booker, man. Y'all are crazy. I love
Listen,
Booker.
I was even I won't say beginning of the year, but first half of the year, I was saying that Chris Paul should be in the talks because his leadership and everything else is the way he facilitates and everything. He should be an MVP candidate. But when Chris Paul was hurt, they didn't miss anything. I mean, they lost a few more games, but I want
to add you something. Like, out of those guys I named, Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, Luka, Ja, who has Devin Booker individually been better than those guys?
Okay,
out of those guys,
I 100% agree with you. But 10 years ago, and I'm roughly throwing that out there. If Matt's watching this, he will like legit hit right on the year that I'm talking this about. That's how good he is with that. I can't do that. When Anthony Davis was playing for the Pelicans and they made the playoffs like the first time ever, Anthony Davis was the best player in the NBA. If you take him off of that team, they did not make the playoffs. He was the most valuable player on that team. But it didn't matter. I don't know who won it that year, but Anthony Davis.
What year was that when they first made the playoffs? I think it was 2015. I think
somewhere around there.
In 2015, that was when Steph won it. Steph was by far the best player in the league. It wasn't even close.
Matt right there says 2015. But I do think that Anthony Davis should have been in the talks because take him off that team was nothing.
Well, no, here's the thing, though. Like, I agree with you, though. Like, Devin Booker has been a major impact for the Suns, especially when Chris Paul was out. Like, I think Devin Booker really helped elevate a lot of those guys like Cam Johnson, Cam Payne, Mikal Bridges, the rest of those guys. So Booker definitely does his part. But I don't know. It's like, maybe it's just me, but like he hasn't really individually, he hasn't really excited me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the other guys that I just mentioned.
I'm just going to say this. I think it's a little that you're jealous, you're upset, you're maybe into it because Booker does excite me. And just the last time this person was on the show, I've always talked about Booker and how beautiful he is. And of course, right on cue, Amber comes into the
Is this who I think it is?
So, Amber, welcome back to the show that you created. We have missed you. The queen has returned. You know what? Hold up. I've got to do something here. Like, hold up. I can't even. Goodness. You deserve up there. It is an honor to have you on here. So, how have you been doing?
The OG.
I'm busy, but good.
Do you have Colorcast?
I think I do.
Can you hop on there so we can get you on the app so everyone can actually hear you on there as well?
Okay. Let me see how that works. Okay.
It's been a while, ain't it? It has been a while.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Come on, phone.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not letting me join you guys now.
It's still, I tell you what, don't worry about it, Amber. I'm going to undo mine. And Nick, hop off with the speaker, and I'll just undo my Bluetooth, and we'll just go through the speaker on the computers. That way all four of us can all be heard on through here. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
That sounds good.
Okay. Let's see here.
Oh, man. This is going to be great. Amber's back.
I told y'all I can't wait to talk about the Cavs.
Oh, my gosh. Well, since Amber's here, let me and Michael both just apologize because a while back, Amber said that the Cavs were going to be in the play-in. This is when they first drafted Evan Mobley. I'm like, there is no way this is going to happen. Then throughout the year, they were the third seed for a while, and I was like, yo, like the Cavs are good this year. And then they make the play-in. Unfortunately, they didn't make the playoffs. I wanted them to make the playoffs, but unfortunately they didn't get there. But yeah, it's a step in the right direction. So Amber saw the vision before we all did.
Amber, I am off. Here we go.
Michael has it on his notepad. There you go.
I don't know if you can see it because of my lighting. So no, you can't. But it says Cavs in playoffs. Amber said that on July 31st. I wrote it down. That's crazy. In pen then. and she nailed it. So that's why she's the OG. That's why she's the queen of basketball.
Oh man, it was. And when I saw him make the play, and I was like, yo,
they were the third seed for a little bit too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They were winning. They were winning games, and they did this without Colin Sexton. You know, Colin Sexton got hurt, so
and Rubio as well.
Rubio, yeah, that was a big.
I think they helped Darius Garland become who he's become. I really think they had a lot to do with it. But you guys, I just didn't watch the Bulls and Bucks. I went to go play some hoops outside. I wasn't interested in that series. Am I the only one that's not that interested in the Bulls and Bucks series?
I mean, in my opinion, it's gonna be a sweep. So,
okay,
sweep.
Dang,
yeah, I want to see. Nah, I think I got him. I got Bucks in 5, gentlemen sweep. Okay. I want to see LaVine, and you know, it's his first playoffs, his first time in the playoffs. I want to see if he could step up, have a big game or two, maybe see DeRozan. I mean, he used to be called the Frozen when he was in Toronto. That used to be his nickname. So I want to see if he could kind of, you know, shake that narrative a little bit. But you know, that first game didn't look like it. But we'll see what he does in game 2.
But Michael, since we're on this topic, let's ask Amber, because me and Michael are having a debate. So we know the Suns have had the best record in the league all year. Michael considers that Devin Booker's an MVP, and I hear him, but for me,
candidate,
my bad. MVP candidate for me, even though he's had a good year, I just don't think he stood out amongst other guys like Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, Luka, and even Ja Morant, in my opinion. So how do you feel about that?
I think because the way the Suns are currently constructed, the balance of their team, it's going to be hard for him to get that consideration because of the balance. They have such good balance. Like if you take Devin Booker off the Suns, they probably still run like a well-oiled machine just because you got Chris Paul and Cam Johnson, Monty Williams is there, and DA seems to step up when others go down. So it will be tough for him to get that MVP nod. And when
oh shit.
Uh-oh, can't hear you for a second there. You're muted.
Oh shit, she muted herself.
You're muted. Now yes.
Yeah.
What's the last thing you heard me say?
That Booker deserves to be the candidate for MVP.
What's the last?
Did y'all not hear that? Because that's totally what I heard. I mean, that's the only thing I heard.
I did hear it say without Booker, the Suns could be used as like a well-oiled machine.
Okay,
yeah, play like a well-oiled machine.
Okay,
so that's why like WD-40 because it was like rusted up and couldn't move.
But it's hard for him to be in that conversation when Joel is putting up the numbers he's putting up, Giannis, and then the Joker. It's tough for him to get in that conversation for me because of the balance of the team around him. They do have the best record, but those other guys' numbers are just so much better. And the Joker has the Nuggets in the playoffs, and they shouldn't even be in the playoffs, in my opinion. Do they have a 20-point per game scorer? No. Who's the second leading scorer? Probably Monte Morris is probably the second leading scorer.
Yeah, I think it is. Yep.
Yeah, so why are the Nuggets in the playoffs? So I saw on Twitter somebody said that the top, your MVP should be a top 4 seed. Steph was considered last year, and, they barely were in that discussion. But it's tough for Booker to get in that. It's going to be tough, and it's going to get even tougher because it's scary to say, but Giannis is going to get better. Joel Embiid is probably going to get better. Like, it's just tough for him right now. It's tough. I see the MVP, these forwards and centers are starting to take over that conversation.
So I will say some of these notes right here, I've never actually looked at any more other than the Cavs in the playoffs. So I said that the Nuggets would have a better record than the Jazz. I was wrong.
Okay.
I also said that the Suns would have the number 1 seed. Sorry, I got something on my shoulder I got to dust off.
I might have said 2. I can't remember.
I don't have that part. These were just the hot takes part on this. Amber said that the Lakers would have the number 1 seed. We won't go into that.
Anthony Davis, damn it, Anthony. Like, I thought, you know what I really honestly thought? That it would work. I thought that, okay, you got Russell Westbrook, take some pressure off LeBron, off the ball. You got AD. AD's going to be healthy, right? AD's going to be healthy. Brian does his thing, and Russ just, can do his thing. And all of a sudden, it just fell apart so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. And the hype that everyone gave us preseason on this, like, we always, I think, in the back of our mind, had some type of speculation on this. But it's like, okay, like, I'm hearing the noise.
Let's make this Laker talk real quick, man. I mean, they're kind of irrelevant, honestly.
So
They're kind of
many-
irrelevant. Let's get them out of here.
I said what I had to say.
But Nick said that the Hawks would be a 3 seed as well. Or I'm sorry, I said Nick.
Yeah.
And Nick said the Hawks. Yeah, I said that right. Would be a 3 seed. So I mean, that's not too bad.
I said the Knicks would be a 62, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Actually,
Something like that.
I might be able to find that in my notebook quick.
Sorry,
So-
CJ. I just had to mention that.
Mhm.
Hey, man. I can't knock it, brother. It's,
Well, CJ, I went to a game at the Garden and got to see Trae Young, so that was dope.
when he made Taj fall.
Yeah, I
Oh.
was there. I was like, you watch it live, it just looks way better when you're at the game than it does on TV. I was like, what? The whole crowd was like, oh. They kept playing it on the big board at MSG, and everybody was like,
Crazy.
oh.
Crazy, yeah, man.
That was crazy.
That was a rough one to watch. Yeah, 47, I think, something like that. Yeah, crazy.
Y'all don't like him at the Garden. Y'all just, nobody likes him. And I'm cheering for him because he went to OU. I'm like, yeah, Trey. People looking at me. I'm like, yeah, Trey.
I want to
Yeah,
ask
you gotta
that
be
while you're
careful.
talking about that.
Yeah, after
Is
last
Trey a
year,
villain?
for
I
sure.
was
For sure.
excited.
I think he loves the villain role, so
Yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland hate him too. I mean, it was the Cleveland fans were clapping for us. He was waving them goodbye.
Miami's hating him right now.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So he's embracing it. I think it's good for the NBA. It's perfect for the NBA. You need
Yeah,
different type of styles, characters. Everybody's the same. It's it's boring.
I was always like the sportsmanship, shake the hands, whole 9 yards of that. But sometimes it's nice to see someone that doesn't do that. Go against the grain a little bit, have a little
Kyrie doing that too.
So I respect it. I like it. Guys, I'm sorry. Apparently, I don't have that.
Let me speak on the Kyrie situation, man, because it's kind of crazy to me. Like, it's been 3 years since he left to go for Brooklyn. Like, the fans need to get over it. Like, they need to get over it. It's not like their team is irrelevant. They're the number 2 seed in the East right now. I don't understand what this animosity of Kyrie is still going on right now. Like, it's insane to me.
Yeah, I'm not defending him, but it's probably that clip where he said he was going to stay and he was here for the future, and then the same offseason he dips and goes to Brooklyn. That's probably what it stems from. But just like all fans, I mean, they're petty. Boston fans are really petty. I mean, then he stepped on Lucky at the half court on the logo, and then they threw the water bottle at him last year. So it's like he's never going to be able to shake it. They're in the same division, in the same exact division. They're going to see them 4 times a year, every single season. So you might as well just embrace it. He had a great game tonight. I thought, he was doing the middle finger to the fans, and he was going wild. He was going wild today. And I know he's sick that he wasn't able to get that dub
With no food and no water.
Yeah, exactly. On Ramadan too, so I know he was stressed after the game.
Okay. I need to know. You said no food, no water, because it's part of religion, right? Like he's fasting of some sort right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, how is that going? Like, is there so many days he can't eat, or is that like a certain day he can't eat? Or do you guys know?
I have no idea.
Sun up, sundown, or something like that, where he can't eat. It's one of those. Either sun up you can't eat, or sundown you can't eat. I think it's sun up, or something like that, where you can't eat at all.
Yeah, exactly. So he's fasting. I mean, he's out there on just hooping. So
on God's good prayer. Amen.
Right.
You're better man than me. Jesus.
Well, Allah's good prayer, should I say?
Yeah, for him, yeah, Allah. Facts.
Yep. So He's doing his thing.
Okay, I know this is my ADHD. When I was in high school playing basketball, I would always eat a Hot Pocket before every ball game. Hot Pocket and sour cream and onion chips. Was there anything that you all would listen? I'm fat, okay?
I can't really say nothing. I can't really say nothing. I used to have McNuggets from McDonald's. I used to have like a 10-piece for a few games, so I can't really say anything.
Okay.
Definitely Wendy's. Yeah, some Wendy's before they.
You're in high school though, so it's like, you know what I'm saying. Like you're it's good when you're in high school.
No, still totally good.
Now, if we're in the post now, oh no.
Yeah, my stomach is hurting. Y'all ate that before a high school basketball game? Our parents used to cook for us. Like our parent association used to cook for us for high school games.
Oh,
clutch.
whoa.
We had a strong parents association. Let me tell you, we had a very strong parents association.
Listen, okay.
I am blessed to say that. I'm blessed to say that.
We were lucky if you had like every parent actually show up and pick their kids up to go home after a ball game. Like, you know, that was us. Like,
now, Michael, that's rough.
no, like, I mean, my parents. Let me back up. My parents were phenomenal. My parents would actually. My college I went to that had a junior varsity college basketball team. I went and played 1 year there. Then I realized it was too much like work. After 1 year, I quit. Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
My dad actually would drive an hour and a half to the college just to watch me play. So, I mean, that's how my parents always were. Even when we'd travel like 2 hours away, he would still try to go and make the games if he could. My mom would come sometimes, but she could care less. She didn't even know what was really going on with the sports. I'm like, Mom, I'm in college. It's okay. You don't have to make my game. So my parents were 100% in my life and all that. But we had some parents that it was almost like, okay, you go play a sport. I've got a 2 to 3 hour babysitter that I don't even have to worry about my child. I mean, let's be honest. Did you all not run into any of that? Like, are we that bad here in my area?
I'm thinking of like, you know, myself in high school now. Like, man, our diet was just not good. Like, we used to literally lift weights and then we would eat on like Sour Patch Kids and stuff like that. Like, as we're like working out.
So bad, yeah. Nutrition back then.
Jeez, man.
It was bad. It was just young. You didn't care.
I had a high metabolism though, so it was like, you know, I would eat all day and just not gain any weight.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, but ain't nothing like a home cooked meal before a game, fellas. Like,
yeah. Oh, definitely.
Of course not. Yeah, it's nothing better than that. I mean,
yeah.
Now, of course, when I say before a game, it wasn't like 30 minutes before a game or anything. But I mean, like, I'd come home after school, 3 o'clock, eat whatever, my Hot Pocket, and be like, hey, it's game day. Bag of chips. Well, not like a whole bag, but some chips, a whole bag. And then be like, all right, let's go up about 2 hours before the game.
yeah.
So, yeah.
You didn't feel that running? Like when you was running, you didn't feel none of it? Y'all didn't feel none of that running?
No. Girl, I still don't feel it. If I play right now, I can do that.
Hey, if I want to get technical, I did drink water with those nuggets, so that might be why.
I like the
I did drink water.
All that salt in you and get the hydration. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I just don't know. Like now, I couldn't picture myself eating like that. And I'm trying to think in college. In college, we had team stuff to do. But after games, though, we would go to either Chili's or we would go somewhere to eat after games. Like it was like a routine on Friday nights. Now on Tuesday nights, we kind of had to fend for ourselves. But on Friday nights, we go eat as a team. Like the boys and girls would go eat. And in my freshman, sophomore year, freshman year, I played freshman, JV, and varsity. And then sophomore year, I played JV and varsity. And then, of course, junior year and senior year, I just played varsity. So I played at 3 o'clock, playing JV. So
where did you eat with CD Lamb?
I didn't eat anywhere with CD Lamb. That was after I played college basketball.
Okay. I mean, that wasn't when I was in high school, Matt. Come on, man. CD Lamb, that was way later.
No, I'm so much older than him. Oh, my goodness. I'm an old head. I was probably in elementary when I was in.
You weren't even born probably when I was.
Oh. 23, 24. Yeah. So I understand that, fellas. Now, what's your most intriguing series thus far, you think? Besides, okay, throw out Boston and the Nets. outside of Boston and the Nets.
I'm still in CJ's answer from earlier because I wanted to take this series, but then he took it before me. I'm going the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies, two young teams. Anthony Edwards really impressed me yesterday with that big game. I think John Morant's going to come back with an answer. I think he's going to come back with a 40-baller game too. So, in my opinion, that series is going to go 7.
I mean, I like to bring in every comment, so let me go ahead and bring this in. Oh, great knowledge on here and me. Thank you, Connie. I love you too.
Thank you, Connie.
Connie.
What's up, Connie?
It's good, my guy.
So, CJ, you're still going with the same one then, right? The Minnesota and Memphis.
Yeah, that's definitely outside of like Amber said, Boston, Brooklyn for sure.
Looking at this, I talked about earlier, Amber, when you weren't on here yet, about the Dallas and Utah ones. Probably one of my interesting ones to see how it turned out. I said Denver earlier, but I was wrong on that. But I kind of am very interested in see how the Toronto is going to answer back from this first loss here with Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. I think that could be an interesting series to finish on out here. What about you?
Because Thibault can't play in Toronto, right?
Nope. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I can't keep.
Yeah, he can't play in Toronto.
Yeah, games 3 and 4, he's ineligible. Yep.
I think that comes back to Philly 2-2.
Okay.
Because his length on defense makes a difference, and playing in Toronto is tough. I think that comes back to Philly 2-2.
Jurassic Park.
I like that series. Actually, picked Toronto to upset Philly in that series because of the Thibault situation. I think Nick Nurse will outcoach Doc Rivers at some point.
Oh yeah, I remember Scotty Barnes got hurt.
Yeah, that's right.
That's also the thing too.
Ankle.
Yeah. So that might hurt
Oh,
there.
I saw that too. Yeah, I watched that live, and I might go to a game in Philly. I'm not sure yet, but
that would be amazing.
It would be great. I don't know, because Scotty. It depends on Scotty, but that looks like it.
Look bad.
I think he's done for the series.
I think Philly would go up 3-1 in the series. And then Toronto would come back and just win it all because, that's what Doc Rivers does. He goes up 3-1 and then he chokes. So,
but that Dallas-Utah series is intriguing because if Utah can barely get by Dallas without Luka, then
it'll be 4 for the Suns.
Yeah, no one's sold on Utah. Even if they get past Dallas, no one's gonna take them seriously. They'd have to upset like Phoenix or something like that for somebody to
dang near beat Utah without Luka. Like, how do you let that happen? Like you can't let that happen. Like
they don't give Gobert the ball enough. He only had 1 field goal attempt the whole game.
They pay him $200 and some odd $1 million. Y'all know how I feel about Rudy Gobert, but.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's some times where he get some mismatches. You could, he could dunk the ball, but they
don't trust him. There it is, CJ. They don't trust him enough.
So I am
in the paint.
I believe this year
because like an outbreak in the close of the season.
I believe this year they're gonna break it up.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Like I'll say this on a card side of basketball because I'm getting into baseball and basketball cards again. I kind of want to invest some in Mitchell because I do think they'll end up breaking this up, and not a lot of people have dove into Mitchell too much because he is with Utah. It's just not a big a publicity. I'll say his name's not out there. He's not the Lakers, so thought about trying to get a couple of Mitchell's cards and see if he does go somewhere good. Like, I mean, honestly, Lakers would be great for him because they need a point guard. Someone away from Westbrook. I don't think that'd happen, but I just someone to that effect because let's be honest, the Lakers are set with who they are, but we're not going to any more Laker talk. Just he's going to go somewhere. I think I just think they got to release him, right? And just start completely rebuilding, right? If Utah don't go anywhere, Gobert and Mitchell out.
If they
all
get
the teams around them are getting better, in my opinion.
100%. If they get bounced out in the first round with Luka-less Maverick team, 100%.
Luka-less. I want it to happen. Make it happen, please. Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie. Make it happen.
There's no reason why you should barely beat Dallas without Luka, right? Am I the only one that felt that way? Like I was like, come
No,
on,
I
Utah.
agree.
Come on, Utah. And it's tough to win in Utah. Now I will give you this. It will be tough to win in Utah.
Mhm.
And that strained calf, we heard that before, right, fellas? We talked about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
The strained calf.
Uh-huh.
Because the moment he tries to explode on that strained calf, what is going to happen? His Achilles is going to rupture.
Yeah, that's nothing there. That's nothing to play with. Like you said, it's KD, so not even.
Yeah. So what do you do? What do
With
you do if
Dallas?
you're Dallas? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough. Like you said, it's really that's really a tough injury, man.
Mhm.
If he's
I
not
think
ready,
you should just sit him, honestly.
I do too.
and you don't have Tim Hardaway Jr. as well. He's been out with the foot injury pretty much the whole
Yeah.
year. I mean, even if they were to get past Utah, I don't see that they're not going far. So it's just like to shut him down. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he got hurt, but I wanted to see him get past the first round for the first time in his career. But yeah, man, if Utah folds, which they had a 3-1 lead against the Nuggets in the bubble and folded, so I mean we've seen them do that before, but I will see what happens. We'll see what happens. But that's probably like my least favorite series. To me, I was almost
Me too.
I was almost asleep watching that one, man. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a reason why they made it the first game of like the entire playoffs.
Exactly. They know exactly what they're doing.
But that's because Luka wasn't there, right? Like if Luka's there, it might be more interesting or more entertaining.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think we all just want to see Utah lose to a degree.
Utah is Utah. Like you overpaid Rudy Gobert. You deserve what you're getting. And Utah fans would be at my neck if I said this. But it's true. Like I listen to JJ Redick's podcast, the I'm in the Three. If anybody else listens to that,
It's a good podcast.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
And he was talking about how great Rudy Gobert is, and I'm like, but maybe I don't see it from the point of view that they see it because they actually like on the floor with him and see it differently. I just could not pay a big man that much money to not be productive on offense.
Well, that's almost like the Suns that's coming back from halftime here shortly. You know, they haven't paid
Ayton.
Yeah.
But he's productive on offense. Like he can actually he's productive.
He's better than Gobert, you know, but they're hesitant to pay him because he is a big man. Like his footwork, if you watch his footwork, it's not the best. Ayton isn't, and I mean, I feel like that's almost why they're hesitant. Like some of the games that I have been able to watch, you know, he'll catch the ball and on his turnaround jump shot, which you would think he would just do like a drop step, you know, finish closer to the rim. He's actually almost jumping and just turning right there where he's at. It's like he's always been too tall and he's never had to work on his footwork. So I'm like, hold up. Like, I mean, if that's really how you're going to do that, maybe that's why they're hesitant on paying you. Like, this is fundamental.
But do you let him walk? That's the thing.
Well,
and what do you get back in return?
What can you get? Because him and Devin Booker have a good rapport. Like they have a good core and a good rapport. Right. So they've been to the finals. Yeah. And DA does his job. Like he's not going to get the max because he's not going to be eligible for a super max or whatever, or even a max because he hasn't made one of those teams, right? If I'm thinking.
So Michael, would you want to see a DA Bam swap?
Oh,
that's a good one.
Bubble Booker and Bam. That would be nice.
Kentucky link.
I would love it with Chris Paul's leadership. Absolutely.
Pat Riley's not giving up Bam for.
Yeah, he ain't giving him up.
No. This is hypothetical. Can we get Hero in on that conversation too somehow? Obviously, Tyler Hero wouldn't even be considered.
Or Duncan Robinson, he went bonkers.
He went off today, yeah.
Could you imagine Duncan Robinson in that free flow offense for Monty Williams with the way they move the ball? Really nice.
Yeah, he's a he got paid. He kind of struggled a little bit this year, but he stepped up tonight for sure.
If he can play like what he did today for the rest of the playoffs, this Heat team may be very, very dangerous. I mean, obviously they're the number 1 seed, but they may take that East. I'm going to say a lot easier than what people think if he can stay hot like that, I think.
Miami's going to be a difficult out because they play defense.
Yep.
They're going to be a very difficult out. Because I don't know why Victor Oladipo was on the bench today. Do you guys know why?
I did not get to watch the
He
game.
just came back really about a week ago or so.
Yeah, and plus, it's the playoffs now, so they're really tightening up the rotation, so that might be part of the reason.
Yeah.
But he's played the last 8 regular season games, right?
He's played last year. He had like a 40
And he had a 40 ball, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder why he can't get at least 15 minutes. He can give you 15, right?
You would think so. You would think so.
Am I delusional? I mean, I'm not questioning Spo. I mean, Spo's great, but I would think he could give you 15 minutes, right?
I don't know. Maybe he's just not showing in the practice. I'm assuming.
Because I mean, they got Vincent out there, Strauss out there. They can play. They've stepped up all year. So, like Nick said, I mean, pretty sure Spo trusts those guys.
And it's the first game too. Like, I mean,
right.
I don't know if you want to risk losing that first game at home just to get him some minutes when these other guys.
They were blowing it. They were beating Atlanta by 30.
Yeah. I mean,
that is true.
They don't need him.
Again, I haven't watched the game, so I didn't realize they were up by 30. Ooh, here's some highlights from Kyrie. Wow.
They should have won that game easily.
They should have won. They should have won.
Execution.
I was so mad they lost.
I'm not happy because KD struggled, and KD's not gonna struggle in game 2. So you're gonna have to figure that out. They're gonna have to figure that out.
I think it's gonna be back and forth. It's gonna be back and forth. Man. It's two great teams. I just think defensively for the Nets, to me, I feel like they need Ben. They need Ben in order to win this series. They need the versatility. They need the defense. If he's not out there, Claxton played all right. He played well, but Horford could space the floor, and that's a problem. And when they load up on KD, when he's at the top of the perimeter, and they dump it down to Claxton, I'd rather have Ben in that position because he could play make and he could drive to the basket. So it's looking like he's might be ready to go. They say he's ramping up 5v5s and things like that. So if he's ready to go, that's a big addition to them. I know he hasn't had the conditioning. He's been out pretty much 12 months. He hasn't played since playing the Hawks. But if he could come back, I think that's a big addition for them. What you think?
20 minutes in a game would be good for him?
I think 20 minutes. Definitely in that closing lineup. Once it gets close, you need him out there. But he has to knock down his free throws. That's obviously there's Achilles heel. He doesn't need to be a perimeter player, but those free throws, because Ime Udoka might just foul him before 2 minutes, and hack a Ben. So he's gonna have to knock down those free throws. Hopefully, he's been working out with Kyle Korver, assistant coach, and getting that right.
I want to see Aldridge get some minutes because Aldridge can make those jumpers in the middle of the paint. He can rebound. He can stretch the floor too. What's up?
It's just tough for him and Blake. Is just on the pick and roll liability. Liability.
Yeah, but it's like it's a better lineup than having Kyrie, Seth Curry, and Bruce Brown in there. All three of them together, they're about 6'3" or a little bit shorter than that, compared to having guys on both sides: Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, Grant Williams. All big dudes. So there's a reason why they're going to get out rebounded, out muscled in the paint.
Right.
But KD, I can't let KD off the hook too because I can't let him off the hook. He only had 4 rebounds. I tweeted that too. I'm like, I need more than 4, bro. I mean, you're 7 feet tall. Like, come on.
And he probably knows that though. Like he probably looked at it and was like, damn. Like he didn't care about the shooting numbers. He was like, damn, I didn't have enough rebounds.
Jeez.
He usually rebounds pretty well.
Yeah, Horford had like 20 and 15. Like, he had a lot of second chance points. If second chance points is going to be why they lose. I mean, if Horford's crashing the glass and getting easy layups and creating second options for the Celtics, it's going to be tough for them to win, regardless if KD or Kyrie go off. It's those little
Jared Allen.
Allen. They could have. I mean,
what about Marcus Smart with over? I think he had 20 points today.
He was open.
Yeah, Marcus Smart. Yeah.
Open.
Brooklyn's defense is super inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smart played great. He made the play of the game. I mean, I know you didn't see the highlights, but he could have settled for a shot, but he stayed patient, gave it to Tatum off the cut. KD was ball watching, and they made him pay and got the layup for the dagger. And it was a great game. It really was. It was back and forth. The Celtics made their run. Kyrie went ridiculous in the fourth.
Yeah.
And then just that, those last two play, even the play before that, Brown after the timeout, Brown just babied, Kyrie to the paint, easy too. You can't allow that. You can't that can't happen right there and during that time. But yeah, it's gonna be. I got to go in 7 games. I got to go in 7 games either way.
I gotta stick with my Brooklyn pick though. I mean, I'm a KD fan. I gotta stick.
What's crazy is Boston's been great. Like since they made whatever kind of change they have, they've been great. But still, even when we talk about it, even though Brooklyn I think is a 7 seed, I still feel like Brooklyn is probably the favorite in this, and Boston is the underdog in the series. I just personally, I feel that way. I mean, I don't know how everybody else does, even though they've got the home court advantage and everything. Like, it's still KD and Kyrie and everyone else on that Monstar team that it's just, but they don't play the defense, and it shows a little bit on this game, I feel, from what hearing and just what I've just seen there. But I still feel like if Brooklyn were to lose this series, like it was a fail of a season, don't you all? Or am I just way out there?
I wouldn't say that. I personally disagree because there's been a lot going on in Brooklyn this year. Obviously, with Kyrie, the vaccination situation, James Harden ends up heading out. KD missed a significant amount of time due to injuries, and then of course, during that time frame, Brooklyn lost I think 12 straight at one point. So they were never really able to find a true rhythm up until now. So now you're in a position now where, when you're in the playoffs now, and it's who do you really want in your rotation? Like it's kind of like now, there's no LaMarcus Aldridge, there's no Blake Griffin. So I don't know what it is, honestly, but in my opinion, if Brooklyn does end up losing this first round, I think you got to say Steve Nash got to be on the hot seat, in my opinion.
100%. To me, I think it is a disappointment because those guys are healthy now. If it depends, let's see how this series plays. If they play bad, and they stink it up, KD and Kyrie throughout this series, and it's they struggle, then yeah, to me that's definitely a disappointment. But they're going out there balling, making plays, and they just they come up short because Boston has a better team around, a better all around team. Then it might be different. But I still think Steve Nash should be on the hot seat. It looks like they picked the wrong coach. I mean, Ime Udoka was just on that sideline last year. So again, he knows both of those guys, pretty well, and that's why it's going to be a tough matchup. That's why KD struggled tonight because he knows what to do. He pretty much copied that, what Milwaukee did to them in the semis, made it tough. Couldn't let him get to the spots.
Chris Paul is just amazing. Can we just all agree on that real quick? I'm sure my TV is
one
a little
of the best.
Not that I'm stealing TV or anything, but he just did that little fake dribble pass thing, come back to him. It's beautiful.
But he's toiling with the Pelicans right now. He's just playing with the Pelicans right now.
Yeah, he's basically street ball, just I'm gonna do whatever I want to. This is fun. This is PE. I'm out here playing against whoever's got next, and I'm just doing whatever I want.
I'm upset about this because give credit to the Pelicans. They did their job in the play-in, but if PG does not miss that game, the Clippers are the 8th seed, and they're playing right now, in my opinion.
But the Clippers could have got it done in Minnesota with PG.
That's true. That is true.
So it's and he played well. Don't get me wrong. He did play well. He had 34. It's just you're right. You're right. They had the 2 best guys, and 2 out of 3 of their best guys, and the Clippers didn't, and it was still really close. But I just look at the Pelican team. I think they have a lot of upside as well. I mean, you take Jackson Hayes out of that lineup that they have right now and put Zion in. It's
nasty too.
Yeah, that's tough to stop. It's 3 guys that can put up 25 any given moment. That's a dangerous team. And if Herb Jones, I think Nick, then you write something about Herb Jones. I think earlier in the season.
I think so. Yeah. I think. Oh, actually, yeah. You're right. I did I did a top rookie or underrated rookie article about a few months ago.
I just wrote an article about Sean Kemp. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Hey, I came through.
Definitely did.
I had to save it for your birthday.
Thank you.
You didn't even know it.
It was that's the hold up. I'll just wait for his birthday next year.
Your guy Bones has been hooping for Denver.
Yes.
He's been hooping.
He has.
That's your guy.
This rookie class has been really good.
Pretty good.
Really good.
Yeah, man.
And this is a hot take. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I feel like this class can be in that same conversation as like 96, 03. In my opinion. Let's give it some years. But I think they could be there. Like when you look at Cade, you got Cade, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, and even guys like Jalen Green, even Jalen Suggs to a degree. You know, I know that he hasn't really had like
my boy Giddey. I
was going to say,
Giddey,
youngest triple double, I think.
It could be. You're right. I could definitely see the upside. I see the upside with that. There's some talented guys that came out.
More players in this class that are actually involved. You know, as far as rookies for sure. So that's nice to see. But I want to back up just a little. Go ahead, Amber. I'll let you finish that.
I think Scotty Barnes and Mobley probably went to the best situations. And then, Bones did too, of course, in Denver. But I think out of those top picks, I think that they went to the best situation.
But I was just going to say, back with the Clippers a little bit, where we was kind of going there, I'm going to back up even further. That's why I almost feel like Brooklyn, if they were to go out this round, has to be considered a disappointment because the Clippers were here. They've done everything. And even in some of our hoops chat we got going on, Corey was bad-mouthing how if the Clippers don't do good, which they didn't, with Leonard and Paul George, even though they've been hurt so much, like this has been a disaster for the 3 years they've been there. So you have to almost say that it's not worked out. So, I mean, this Brooklyn team, even though injuries, even though Fat James Harden showed back up again, he must have went with a Hot Pocket and a bag of chips before he started playing.
Couple Hot Pockets and bags of chips.
He didn't realize, you was only supposed to eat one out of the box. It was two servings. Dang it. But, I mean, you can't really make – I'm not trying to be mean on this, but you can't make excuses constantly for them. Like, what they have is what they have. And at the end, they're full strength minus Ben, I feel like this team is still going to be good with what they have. So, to me, I kind of like how, CJ, how you kind of put it, going back to that, was if they play the best that they can and they still lose, you can't say that it was a fail for them. Because, I mean, they did the best they could. They just weren't the best team. So, I like that. But I do think the Clippers are almost a fail this year too. But I almost think that shows.
I don't know.
So you think it's a failure? You say you think it's a failure?
Not well. When I say a fail,
disappointment.
I mean, they didn't have Leonard all year. So, I mean, and Paul George wasn't so much. Like See, I want to go back and say, like, and again, I don't want to talk much about the Lakers because it's the playoffs. But like, everyone made excuses for them to not make the playoffs. Well, look how long we didn't have Leonard or PG playing for them, and yet they made the playoffs. So that, to me, is a win. But I'm just saying over the longevity of what the Clippers were going to be having these 3 years, I guess is what I'm kind of meaning there. Like, it's still showing that it's not happened yet for them. Now, I still think it can. Like, I think those two players are great. Now, I
think that duo is going to split up soon as well.
Well, we don't know how well Leonard is going to be because his injuries now. I mean, this is basically 2-3 years he's been completely out on these injuries. But so who knows?
Yeah, if they're healthy next year and they fold, gotta bring it up. You have to, because you got that bubble when that's the definition of folding, and then last 2 years, like you said, they've been. I mean, it went to Western Conference Finals last year. Kawhi tore his ACL. I mean, I think that would have been a great series against Phoenix had Kawhi been healthy, but he wasn't. So, and then this year again, playing team. Ty Lue's a great coach. We all know this. But so if next year both of those guys are healthy, all those guys are there. Reggie Jackson's in his right role.
Right.
Morris is in his right role. Terrence Mann could step up, still be solid. Luke Denard, he played all right. He played pretty well. He ended up getting hurt at the end of the season. But if he could play and step up and be a big-time player for them, and they still fold, then, you got to – Steve Ballmer's breaking that squad up.
The Clippers has got some bad mojo or something, man, because it just seems like, with all these great teams that they have, they just cannot make anything happen. Like, even with this team, with the Lob City team, like they just cannot make anything happen.
Some cursing. It's cursed over there, man. I don't know.
It is. Maybe when they get in the new arena, the Intuit, whatever arena, it'd be better.
That's
Are
a
they
good
getting
point.
a new arena? I hadn't heard that because they just renamed it. Are they getting a new arena?
Yeah, the Clippers
Yes,
are getting a new arena in
they're
like
building it.
2020. Yeah, like 2024, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, you
Okay.
pass by it. I worked the Super Bowl. We work right next to where they're building it. So,
Oh, she worked the Super Bowl, guys.
I
Oh,
did.
okay.
I'm working 14 hours a day. Well, 14, 15 hours a day.
That's
Mhm.
amazing. I envy you. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I think this.
That you can be like, this is my
here's what
Super
I
Bowl
feel.
ring.
I feel like this. The West, the league as a whole is getting younger and better,
Mhm.
and these older teams are not, because this, you could say this next year. Say AD and LeBron are healthy, Kawhi and Paul George are healthy, right?
Yeah.
Memphis is going to be there. We agree.
Yep.
Dallas is going to be there. We agree. Denver is going to be there, healthy and whole. We agree. Who else we got? Phoenix
Even
is gonna be there.
yeah, I
New
was about to
Orleans
say
is gonna be
Minnesota.
there.
Yeah.
Minnesota's
Yeah,
going to be there.
Yeah.
Portland with Dame is probably going to be in that mix. So where do the Lakers?
I don't know about Dame. I don't know.
know.
I don't know
I'm
about
just
Portland.
Portland.
saying. I'm just saying he can make some noise. I'm
That
just
would
Yeah,
be
saying.
the
he's gonna get his. Yeah.
Possibly.
Right.
Okay. So you look at the top of the West right now. Golden State is going to be Golden State.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
You look
Is
at the
Utah gonna be
West,
there?
They probably will. They probably will.
Wayne Wade
You
is
look
turning
at
that
you look
place
at all
around.
these teams that are
You
younger.
is
and
turning it around.
you look at all these teams that are younger, and you say, okay, what does the older Lakers team fit in that?
In retirement.
It's a great point. In retirement, yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it's,
Michael.
it's looking closer to that than anything good. I mean, they don't have any picks. Pelicans have their lottery pick for this year, and this is supposed to be a pretty solid draft. They don't have a pick till 2027. So, I mean, it's they gotta figure some things out. To me, first of all, they gotta figure out who's gonna be their head coach. Number one. That's who's gonna bite the bullet, be the scapegoat for everything that goes wrong. When they start off, if they start off, 0-5, 1-5, something like that. Who's gonna sit there and take all that heat? Because when you got a Laker team plus LeBron, everything else is heightened. That's like the double. It's the craziest duo when you talk about engagement on social media and all that type of stuff. LeBron and the Lakers, it's wild. So,
I need
who's
to
going
ask
to be
Amber
the head
this though.
coach? Yeah.
I need to ask Amber this real quick. I mean, I know I hate that I want to be on this Laker talk because I really don't, but I want to ask her this real quick. So what do you think is next for Russell Westbrook, considering how bad of a season that he had? Because I don't think the Lakers really want him, but they can't really move him either because he doesn't really have a lot of value. He's getting paid like $47 million, I believe. So people don't want to pick up that contract.
The big three? What?
I think they run it back. I think they're gonna have to run it back unless some teams like, yeah, I'll pay him that. But that's all I can think of. Like I can't think of anything else unless like an organization knows something that I don't, or the league knows something I don't. I can't think of anything else they can do. I just think he was in his head this year. I just don't understand. I've never seen Russell play so bad.
Yeah.
Like I've
different
never
pressure, man.
seen
It's
that.
different.
And
the
I
biggest
think he
market
had
he's
pressure on
played
him in
in,
OKC too when he didn't have KD. Like, can he win without KD? He had pressure on him in OKC too. I mean,
That's true.
but it's small market, big market. I know it's a difference,
Yeah,
but
Lakers.
it's the Lakers. Yeah, it's like playing for the Knicks, even though the Knicks aren't good. It's like
Nah, it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Lakers, like I said, Lakers and LeBron
The Knicks are the Knicks are supposed to be good. Like,
Whoa. Chill out.
you gotta chill out with all that, Michael.
You got to get rid of Julius Randle. You got to get rid of Julius Randle. I'm sorry.
1,000%.
Can you move Julius Randle, CJ? And if you move Julius Randle, who would you want? Donovan Mitchell?
I'm good on Mitchell, honestly. I want to see what we got with the young core, man. I really do.
Really?
Okay.
Got some young guys. I mean,
So you don't want to see that pairing of like a RJ Barrett, Donovan Mitchell. You don't think that would make some noise?
With Quickly as your point guard?
Oh, quickly, it'd probably be traded in that.
Yeah.
You probably send him to Utah. But for me, I want to see what we have with the young core. Tibbs is a dinosaur, so it's going to set us another year back. And
He got to go too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's going to come back next year. Unfortunately, looks like Randall's going to come back next year. So this is another setback of a year. We're not going to be able to see what those young guys could be until both of those guys leave, and hopefully they don't make a crazy trade by then. But we don't really got to talk about. We don't really got to talk about the Knicks. I got to talk about the Knicks, man.
Well, I think Cam Reddish can be special for somebody, but
yeah, if he can stay healthy, definitely. He has a lot of upside. His upside is tremendous. But I will say the one thing about Westbrook, the key thing is he has the expiring. So he got 1 year left on that deal. So it's not like a team if they trade for him, be tied for him for a multi years. That's why you see the Pacers, you see the Hornets, which I think is a bad fit. I think Charlotte is a bad fit.
Oh yeah,
I don't like that.
And even Pacers, really, him and Halliburton. I'm not really a fan of that either.
But is Russ going to want to go to a rebuilding roster?
Does he have a no trade clause?
I have no idea, honestly.
I have no idea either.
Yeah,
that'd be something we have to look into because if not, then he has no choice. But if he does, so it's like I don't see how it's going to work with those three guys. They're going to have to, unless they bring in a coach that is schematically, offensively is really good. Who's out there like that? I don't know. Look, they had Jason Kidd right there, but they waited too long to give him the job. And Vogel winning the championship was the reason why Jason Kidd didn't end up becoming a head coach. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out with Russ.
Okay, so Russ will be an unrestricted free agent after next season. So they might just let it run back next season.
Yeah, you just run it back at that point. You run it back and you see what you can do. But I'm telling you, these teams in the West ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. No. But is it a risk though? Because LeBron's going into year 20. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know how many prime years he has left.
Yes.
So it's like in this situation, it's you want to put him in the best position to win. I don't know.
You want it to be like those Kobe years when it was bad towards the end. They had young guys.
But with that roster, with those teams I named in the West, what do they do? Because they're not better. I'm sorry. It's just the way the roster is currently constructed. It's just very difficult.
I can't believe we got baited into this Laker talk. It's so crazy.
I'm sorry. I'm okay. Let's move on from Lakers. Let's talk about Minnesota. Okay, Nick. Remember, we were both like Minnesota's probably. You were like Minnesota's gonna be the worst team in the West. You remember that, Nick?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said that.
I said they're not gonna be that bad. I don't think they're gonna be the worst team in the West. I wouldn't have predicted this because I think
I didn't predict this at all.
Big of a step, this big of a leap. But I think Minnesota has surprised a lot of us, and I'm happy that Pat Bev, got emotional because Minnesota hasn't won a meaningful, I guess you call it, game in forever.
It's good to celebrate, but they just did a little too much for me. Getting on top of the score table, throwing your jersey, nah. It's good though. It's good for the franchise, you know what I'm saying? Because they haven't made the playoffs since 2018, I believe. So it's good for the franchise that they made the playoffs, but for them to act like they actually just won it all, I can't ride with that. I'm sorry.
It was a lot of emotions. Yeah, it's a lot of obviously Pat Bev. They traded him. Actually traded from the Clippers to Memphis, then to Minnesota. So he got even more motivation against the Grizzlies too. Right. I think he's a good player. You need that type of player. Back in 2013, I wasn't a fan because I feel like what he did to Russ was dirty. Yeah, he was calling a timeout. You go after his knee, but after that. Being on the Clippers, he made some big time shots. He was a really good player for them, and he's bringing his experience to a young team, and I feel like they need that. Anthony Edwards is going to be special. I can see him being a top 10 player in the NBA very, very soon. Very soon. He has all the upside. He has all the potential to be excellent in the NBA, man. So he's progressed better than Wiggins was when Wiggins was younger, and that's why they're having more success.
That's a fact. Yeah. That's a fact.
If you could start a franchise right now, would you rather have Ant or Zion if Zion was healthy?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question, man.
I'm going Ant.
Anthony Edwards, because I need you to be healthy and whole and not be overweight.
Oh, well, I'm totally out then.
And plus, when you look at it, like honestly, when you look at it, like, have we ever seen a sophomore play with this much confidence
Right.
as Anthony
Like there's
Edwards?
usually somewhat sophomore slump, and like there's nothing.
He just took off. He just took off since the middle of last season. Since the middle of his rookie season, he's just like taking off.
For sure. It's close. It's close to me. For me, man. You know, Amber. You know, I'm still a big Zion fan.
I know you are. I know you are. But
27 and 7. Nah,
the best ability is
he did.
100%. We had talked about that because this is 2019. We was talking about that. 2020 we was talking about that. So that's facts. But yeah, 27 and 7 in this sophomore year. You know,
like 63% shooting too. So,
but yeah, that's the big, that's the big issue with him is the conditioning, is the health. I'd probably still take Zion.
But
it's close. It's close. It's close.
See,
I can't be mad at that.
I can. I'm gonna get mad at it now. I feel like Ant's attitude that he's just displayed in the past, I'll say, year. With his sophomore, a little bit of his freshman year there, just his demeanor, like if he's that dunk that he did, and I can't remember who it was, but I seen it on a commercial earlier.
On Gabe Vincent?
Yeah,
against the Heat?
Yeah. Let's
on the Toronto dunk.
Maybe I actually knew who it was. CJ.
My bad.
He also had a dunk against San Antonio too.
But the one that it didn't count is what I'm talking about because it was a charge. But anyway. Like he didn't care, and just that demeanor, he's like, "Hey, my attitude, you're in my way. I'm dunking on you." And they always say, if the train's coming, you're on the track. You best move. Like Zion, like if you're on the track, like that train's not even going to move because it's overweight. Like it's loaded down, and it's another caboose to try to push it.
And that's the thing that just makes me so upset, though, is because I don't know. Like you're in the NBA now, so it's like your job is to stay ready at all times. And it's like for me to see Zion weighing about 300 pounds and, him not playing for a whole year. And then we see videos of him.
300. That ain't 300. Trust me. That's more than 300.
But what'd you think? Like 350 range?
Nah. Because muscle, I'm saying probably 325 to 350 because there's muscle with that. But there's a lot of pudge on that man. And he's at what, 6'5", I think?
Yeah, 6'6". Yeah, he like 6'6".
Yeah, 6'6", something like that.
Not for the NBA, but for me. But so he's hefty. Like that's the trash bag is. He's hefty. Okay.
But I must say though, like at 325 or so, and you're still being able to do 360 dunks like that, like
generation.
But that body is taking a toll. But you see now his body is taking at a young age. It's taking a toll on him.
But here's my thing. Like we go back even what we talked about when I was in high school. We didn't have no nutritional whatever, but Amber, you all had someone that cooked for you, that took care of you, made you good food. Like in high school, in college, I've watched stuff talk about Kentucky, how like I never can say the word right, but their cooking classes, culinary arts,
culinary, yeah.
Look at that. Like they would collaborate with their sports people and like, hey, this is what you need to be eating. This is your intake on calories. This is what you need to do to be built well. Like Duke did that with him. That's college. Yeah. He is now in the NBA. Like, old dude's making bank. All he's got to do is say, hey, get me my one chef that's going to fix me exactly what I need to be healthy. Like,
but that chef is not going to stop you from calling Papa John's at 1 a.m. Like, hey, bro, let me get a large pep.
Yeah, it's going to come. Yeah, right. It's going to come down to his work ethic. Really,
those Taco Bell runs, man.
I'm not Taco Bell. Listen, I bet you he's kept, what is it, DoorDash? I bet you he has kept them in business. He's got stock in that.
But you get free delivery. You have to pay the delivery fee. You don't have to pay none of that. You don't have to pay for none of it. But I feel like this. Dwayne Wade was talking about how getting the chef was the best decision he ever made. Chris Paul went plant-based, and he probably be able to play for another 5 or 6 years. So it really depends on you because with that weight, he's going to have to learn how to control it. And he's young enough to control it and has the money to control it. I know people talk about his outfits and all this.
Yeah.
Leave him alone about his outfits, y'all. Y'all have to leave him alone about his outfits. I'm just concerned about his weight. He gets his weight under control. I said this before the draft. He's going to have to lose weight. People are like, oh, he's Zion. I was like, okay. That body can only take so much, and he's an undersized big man. I guess you could
Right.
say.
Yeah. No, he is. Yeah.
He's undersized big
Let's
man.
not say undersized. He's short, big man. Like because he's not undersized.
Well, I mean, from a height standpoint.
Yeah.
He's a big man.
You know, the shots he's getting right now is crazy.
I can see this because I am like he shops at Big Dog with me. I think.
And the thing about it is that he also plays very reckless too, like when he's on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree with everything you guys are talking about.
if he's healthy though, CJ, I'm rooting for him to be healthy and to get that way, because that would be wasted talent if he does not, if he can't get his weight under control and figure out how to keep his body
together, right?
Yeah,
it's
I wanna
tough.
see
So I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about this though, because we were talking about how we don't think that there's enough vets in New Orleans that maybe holding him accountable of like, you know, holding his weight and him staying ready. So we had a scenario of like, what if he was in Miami playing with Pat Riley? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like would he be in game shape? Of course he would. So like, I feel like it might be the culture in New Orleans is part of the reason why he's not really maybe taking things serious and he's not really, you know, getting into shape, because I feel like there may not be anybody in the front office or in like the coaching or even the vets or even one of the vets on the team that's holding him accountable of that.
That's a fact. Yeah, I mean, before they got CJ, that vet was Ingram. He's like 24, so it's like they need some older guys in there to definitely so you could be that could be a mentor to him. If you agree with that.
Big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because just imagine if you went to training camp 330 in Miami, or like 330 pounds in Miami.
Oh no, we knew you meant 330. You didn't have to say that. We knew you didn't mean the town. We're talking about John. We knew you meant 330. All right, but I think Jimmy Butler would be like, "Yo, we gonna run some more laps before we even start." Like I think that culture would just be like, "Nah, this ain't happening."
So what's a good playing weight for him? What, 280? How tall is he?
I think 260.
I think I'm saying 260.
Are we saying good as in realistic or like for Zion?
Like,
I think he came into the league 280.
Right, he did.
Are you sure he came into the league 280?
Yeah,
I think he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
So
is
what,
wild.
260?
Let me
Which
find
is
the
wild.
draft chart.
He needs to be getting a contract with.
Because I remember Coach K was saying that in Duke. He was like, "Yo, this guy's 280." I was like, "What?" Like that's.
Do you think he was really 280 though? Do you think that?
You think he was more?
I think at Duke he was probably a little bit less than that. He looked small. He did look a lot smaller back then. But it's tough. I mean, he got hurt. He broke his foot or something happened to his foot, and
The shoe incident.
No, I mean this year.
Oh yeah, this year, yeah.
I think he broke his foot, and you can't train, but that's not an excuse for still not eating right. You know, so. Yeah, I agree with. I agree with you guys, man. He has to.
Yep. During the draft, he was actually 284.
Wow.
Okay, so 260. I think 260 is good for him.
I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and I ain't trying to be. I mean, y'all know I'm just playing on this, but like for his actual health, like he needs that. I think coming from the fat guy who's sitting behind the camera, like. If you're I'm just saying, like he's going to be playing in the NBA, and if he's like 300 pounds, really trying to do this, like that's honestly scary for his actual life health. I think,
for sure,
because they run. What do they say? I want to say like 10 miles, 15 miles a game is what they kind of average out, or is it more than that?
That's Steph. Steph runs.
That's a good
Yeah,
that's a good question. I never knew like how much they ran. That'd be something to look at.
I know Steph runs crazy like during the game. Like they showed his analytics about how he moves, him and Clay, how they move. It just depends on your position, though.
Right. Well,
it depends on your position.
True.
Listen, when I was a freshman in high school, I was a big man, like I played the center, and I hated it because I had to go block to block. By my junior year, I was point guard, which is sadly, and I loved it because I went from 3-point line to 3-point line, and that was it.
Get some floaters in. No mid-range jumpers at the elbow.
No.
He just stay in the corner.
And then you take that pass to
PJ
the
Tucker.
wing, flip that wrist down to the block to that big man right there. perfect.
So you don't have no mid-range jumper, no floaters, no
never
layup package.
Listen, like
Yeah.
no job. If I shot the ball, it was a layup because I worked to get there, and then I'm like, man, just make the showboat pass. Listen, they call me the doctor because I was setting up shots left and right. Okay.
Yeah.
I miss these stories, Michael. I miss them so much.
Listen, now my 1 year in college, I was ready to beat one of my teammates because I crossed the guy up from the right side of the wing, came over to the elbow, coming down the paint, looked to my guy in the corner at 3-point line, extended my arms like I was passing it to him, and I had a guy on the weak block, flipped my wrist over there to him, but extended my arm so the whole defense shifted out to the 3-point shooter. The guy hit him in the face with the ball, and then it goes out of bounds. I'm like, come on, man. Like
KYP, Michael, KYP, know your personnel.
You know, I hear that, and I've heard that my whole life, but here's my rebuttal to that.
Okay, I'm listening.
If he's on the floor, he should also know me, and I'm a passer.
Because
You should be
listen
good
here.
enough to be on the floor, right?
You can. That's true. But here's what you're as a
I
point
heard you say
guard.
that's true. I'm good. Your mic's muted. Can't hear you.
As a point guard, you got to know who you're playing with.
I agree. I know.
You got to know. You got to know that. My coach be like, Amber, you know she can't catch that. I said, well, I'm just gonna take the shot then.
Why put her out there? That's my thing. Like, there was seriously in high school, there was one guy, like the coach finally said, listen, Lawson's going to hit you in the head at least one time a game. We know that's happening. I'm like, why is he on the court then? Look, she played good defense, and I like him. He's one of my buddies. But, like, hey, if you're there, you know it's coming to you, man.
Yo, New Orleans kind of came back.
Yeah, they are.
What was it? 10-point lead right now?
They. But you know, it's the second unit on the floor for Phoenix. So
37 points in that quarter.
Mhm.
Where did that come from? Sheesh.
yeah, Monty can't
Telling
beat you.
You add number one to that team, man.
Because they're
They're
going
gonna make the playoffs next year. They'll make
to
the
get a
playoffs.
good pick, too, right?
Yep.
Yep. They get a
Got
good
the Lakers pick. Yep. I got their pick and the Lakers pick.
So, and their own. Wow, I didn't even think
Make
about
Laker
that.
fans cringe.
Wow. They're going to go up there and say, and this pick was the Lakers, and we take. Sorry.
But I have a funny feeling that. Do you guys think that the East will ever catch the West?
I think it's almost there. I mean,
I kind of
Almost
think.
Yeah, I think they're honestly neck and neck. You think about it
Now,
to a degree.
I feel like the East is more closer altogether, but I feel like the 1-2 of West is much more superior than the one of the East.
yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to say that they're close, but I feel like the competition of the East has pushed number one a lot further or more made that end more competitive. Now, I do think it's getting better. Like last year, I think it would have been a joke at this point. Like, who cares really? But of course, the Bucks in the East won it. But I think they're moving in the right direction. A lot of West Coast players did come to the East this last year, and I do like it. Kind of, I want to say balancing out more because the West, as far as 1 through, I want to say 14, I believe it is, was very spread on the West Coast.
Yeah.
East 1 through 14 was actually kind of close. 1 through 10 was like decided by, I want to say 5 to 6 games.
Mhm.
So I do like that. It was a lot more competitive, and I think that's only going to get better, especially with Trey. We've been talking about he's only going to get better. Even LaMelo Ball is going to get better and make Charlotte, I think, is going to be a good team here soon. Miami, I feel like, is poised for years to come. Bucks, I think Drew's going to be a Buck for quite a while now with Giannis. Do you think Giannis ever leaves? Because, after he said, I'm here to win.
He ain't going nowhere.
I don't think he's going, but, he kind of made a comment there once, like, hey, I won one, so who knows? But
It's up to the Bucks front office.
Right.
Really,
Right.
I mean, that's what it comes down to.
And then, we don't really know what to expect with Philly with the trades that they've had going on. We've got them going. They're still learning. And then even with Brooklyn, too. So,
Maxey could save that whole thing, man.
mhm.
Maxey's-
Where'd he go to college at?
I love him in Kentucky. I love Tyrese Maxey in Kentucky, and I love that pick for Philly. and then he just took off. This year, he's become a different animal. Like
James, if James could transition to that true just point guard type, and Maxey could kind of
That's what he needs to be at this point.
Yeah, be that second scoring option other than Embiid. Then yeah, they could be pretty good, man. Tobias, I would get off that Tobias contract. I'm not a big fan.
He did have a pretty good game, though. He had a pretty good game one.
I don't see it.
He had a good season too when he got that contract. Not this season.
Oh right, yeah.
Like when he got he played at the right time to get that contract. I mean, it was either Butler or a cheaper Butler, and so I mean it kind of just worked out well for him, not on a front office team, but
I just feel like he doesn't get the type of criticism that
under 10 now, guys. Right now,
yes,
Phoenix 82, on my end.
CJ and Chris Paul are exchanging blows because Brandon Ingram's on the bench. So,
speaking of Brandon Ingram, Nick, on that paper, you did say he would win MVP.
Wow.
Hey, Brandon Ingram?
Yes.
I did not say that. I know for a fact I did not say that.
Super hot take.
Brandon Ingram was win MVP.
That's wilder than my Cleveland making the play-in pick. That's a little bit
Brandon
wilder.
Ingram.
Well, I've got Brandon Ingram MVP, then it says 5 beside of it. So I say you're probably saying top 5 in MVP talks, maybe.
I don't remember that either. I don't remember Brandon Ingram being on any list that I made.
Well,
and I love Brandon Ingram. Don't get me wrong, but I don't remember him being on any list that I made.
Well, maybe I just wrote it randomly. We'll just go with that. We'll go with it. Since you wrote me an article, you didn't say it. I made that up. All lies right there.
What other Brandons are in the league? I might have met another Brandon. I'm trying to think of another Brandon. No, not Brandon Clark. No. No, I don't know. I can't think of nobody.
Yeah. What were our hot takes? Who did we have for like MVP and stuff like? Ooh, CP is cooking right now. What other hot takes did we have besides that? Did we say MVP? Did we talk about MVP and most improved and coach of the year and all that? Did we talk about that?
You know what?
I think
the top 10. How about that? Man, I'm a genius. I said that in August. Like on my paper, I didn't write any of that down if I wrote it.
Okay.
So who do you guys?
I do.
So, who do you guys got for MVP?
I got Joel.
Okay.
I got Giannis.
What about you, Michael?
I'm still to be determined.
I think they just need to cut the trophy in 3 ways and just give it to Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis because it's way too hard. It's difficult.
And honestly, I'm okay with that because without Jokic, you don't have Nuggets at all. Period. Yep. And even Embiid carried Philly for the longest time. I mean, you had some of the smaller roles pick up their play big time, but oh my. I feel like he's well deserving too. And then even Giannis, I mean, I was going to say he's a freak, but he's the Greek freak. So, I mean.
It's almost like there's not a wrong answer, but whoever wins it is going to be a debate.
Yeah, like, I enjoy this MVP race more than I think I have in probably the past 5 to 10 years, really.
The year of the big man.
Right. And Perry said that earlier on our chat and said the year of the big men, and I almost thought he meant like as a whole. I was like, it's kind of weird because the NBA is geared to guards now, but yet our MVPs the past 2 years have been the biggest men, really. So that's kind of neat because, you're getting the rebounds and they're still playing like a guard-like mentality, I feel, just as a big size. So I think it's great to see these big men play like guards. I love it.
Yeah, I've been.
So, Michael, who do you think had a better? Who do you think had a better year this year? Booker or DeMar DeRozan? Because DeRozan was. Well, I'm only asking that because DeRozan was in the lead as far as MVP contention throughout some part of this year. So I'm asking you because I know you believe that Booker is an MVP candidate.
Be in the talk. He has to be in the talk. It's only fair to talk about him to be in there, right? the number one team's number one player has to be MVP talk, right? I'm not saying
You going back to Booker. You going back to
normally.
Booker, aren't you?
Normally, that's correct. Normally, that is
Normally,
correct. But I
The
don't
numbers,
know. It's like,
these teams are the numbers. You can't deny
Yeah.
the numbers.
and
Let's
not
see
even
if we-
that though. Like performance-wise, he just hasn't really stood out to me amongst like other
Mhm.
guys, in my opinion. He's top 10. If you want to go top 10, he's definitely in top 10. But top 5, I don't know if he cracks top 5 in my opinion.
I mean, I'm okay. Let's see here. This season, he's averaged 27 points, if I'm going to round up, 26.8, 5 rebounds, 4.8 assists, with a PER of 21.3, which is 23rd best. That's Devin Booker. Let's see if I can. Let's see here.
Well, Joel Embiid was a scoring champ, but I bet he's averaging double-digit rebounds, probably somewhere around double-digit rebounds.
Yeah, definitely.
See, my thing, and I hate going by strictly just stats, is Joker is going to be winning in just the assist, because where he has so much on that. That's where I kind of give him a
They
little
run
bit
the
of
offense through him. I mean,
Right.
they run their offense really through him. Like, you know what I mean? So
looks like DeRozan is 27.9 points a game, rebounds is 5.1, and assists is 4.9. So, I mean, really, they're the same player.
I think
It's tough out here, man.
most people say DeRozan because of maybe like the shock value. I don't think a lot of people thought he would, play this way first year in Chicago.
In Chicago alone, like them being relevant. Like
Right, being relevant, exactly.
there's
People
a
had him as the
storyline.
worst offseason free agent. Yeah, exactly. There's a narrative for sure, and I think that's why.
Oh, narrative. That sounded much better. There's a narrative, CJ. That's what I meant.
I think, I picked the
Suns'
Bulls to
narrative
make
is
the playoffs.
best record in the A.
But I think the Bulls surprised me in the East. And I think DeMar DeRozan credits the way he's playing now with the Bulls to Greg Popovich. He talks about how Pop kind of prepared him for now, being in that Spurs system and stuff like that. He shoots 6 for 25 today.
Yeah, he shot horribly.
Yeah, he was bad today. And what do you guys think about Poole not even being on MIP?
Ooh, that's tough.
Really?
He needs to be there. He needs to be there.
He needs to be there.
That's
I'll
insane.
take Ja off.
And
I'll take Ja off.
you can get
I'll take Ja off.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't understand why John's even on the list. I mean, I know his numbers have improved compared to last year and the year before, but I don't think he's a most improved candidate in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
Like if you ask me like top 3, I will say Jordan Poole, Desmond Bane, and there's somebody else I'm missing. DeJounte
Murray. Yeah.
Well, they got. I would throw Garland, and they got Garland. I think Garland, Poole, and for me it's Garland, Poole, and Murray. I think those probably be the 3. It's because what Garland did with the Cavs. I mean, we talked about the Cavs. He's been the main reason for that. And then DeJounte played amazing for San Antonio too. So, but yeah, that was a shot. I didn't know why they put Ja in there. And then what about defensive player of the year? They got Smart, Bridges, and Gobert.
I personally got Jaren Jackson Jr.
Okay.
That's what I'm missing. That's one that's missing.
Okay.
So who do you take off?
Sorry.
Who do you
Who's
take
missing?
off?
Oh, Bam. Okay.
And
Okay.
Bam is missing too.
Yeah, he was missing. Yeah. I feel
Who
like
do you take
Gobert's
off?
he already has 3 of those. I mean,
Gobert need to go, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like
One
I
of
might sound like I'm
those guys
hating,
that
but
fit- yeah, one of
let
those guys
somebody,
that fit like
let somebody else get the award, man. Like,
Yeah, see, and I'm gonna hate a little bit here, but like Gobert's blocks, like okay, Anthony Davis at UK got a lot of hype as far as being a great offensive player, when a lot of times it was the point guard penetrating in and throwing the lob and him just dunking it. Like they're like, oh wow, Anthony Davis with another dunk, he's a great on offense. No, the point guard set him up and did everything for him. Like to me, it's great that he can time it. I'm going to Gobert here on the blocks. But really, some of it is how the defense plays the man as it comes up to him, and then Gobert is leaving help defense to block. Like we all know, to get most of your blocks is from the help defense side. So I can't really say a lot of that defense is good for him, or like he plays great defense. He can time good. Like I'm going to go with Marcus Smart, who guards 1 through 5 some, granted not 5 a lot. Bam, my guy who has guarded the best players 1 through 5 on every one. To me, I feel like those should have some more value of some sort than just blocks. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take all the focus off of just blocks because, I mean, the only stat you got for defense is steals and blocks. That's it. But, like, there's got to be, like, constant pressure, like how many times you were guarding the best players. Like, I mean, there's got to be some more on that. I just feel like they should really emphasize some more advanced stats on defense on this.
Mikal Bridges is on the eye on that list that guards 1 through 5, by the way. Marcus Smart does, but Mikal Bridges does it more.
Mikal Bridges he should definitely be on that list.
Yeah.
I think I'm fine with anybody winning the Buck Gobert at this point. I don't even care.
I just think for Gobert, he's a tradition, like you said.
Well, we really hate Utah, don't we?
Hey, Gobert,
I just don't believe in that team, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, nah.
He's traditional. That's what he's gonna say. He's like traditional because he cannot guard in space. I don't give a damn what a Utah fan tells me. He cannot guard in space like Bam can guard in space, or even Jaren Jackson Jr. can guard in space. He can't do it. Even Anthony Davis, Giannis to some degree. Joel Embiid is getting better in guarding in space. I can honestly say that he's progressing. But when I think of defensive player of the year, I've said this a lot. I'm thinking of a guy like a Marcus Smart or a Mikal Bridges or a Bam, like somebody that can switch. Even Miles Turner when he's healthy. Miles Turner is pretty good when he's healthy. A garden, at least 3 through 5, whatever. But that's what I think of. You know what I mean? Because the NBA is now spread. They talk about that on JJ Redick's podcast. Like the NBA is spread out now. It is so much more different. You don't have those 2 big men, clogging up the paint. You can play some hollow. None of that. Everything is spread. So you will be put on an island at some point in a game a lot. And I think about my defensive player of the year being able to switch. Because I think the Phoenix Suns, when they put a certain lineup out there, they can switch 1 through 5. Pretty much. This depends on where Chris Paul is, maybe, or where Devin Booker is, maybe. But Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder, really hold their own in that in those regards.
Now,
so
Tucker as well.
Yeah, it just Miami is great on defense because they can switch 1 through 5 pretty well. So, but when Spo goes to that zone, people cannot figure that out. I don't know. People think I hate Rudy Gobert. I don't hate Rudy Gobert. I don't hate anybody. But I think Draymond made great points when he was saying that when he thinks a defensive player here, he thinks 1 through 5. Because Draymond can do that too. He can get out and do that as well. So it's tough for Rudy Gobert, but I get it. He's a traditional. Well, he's not really a traditional big man. He's a traditional defensive big man.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Just a rim protector. I mean, that's and I'm not taking anything from him when I just say he's just a rim protector. But that's why Utah bounced first round last year, because he couldn't guard a guard last year on the pick and rolls and pick and switch that they did, and he was on an island. So I mean, you can't say the defensive player to me, the defensive player of the year can't be the reason that you lost last year because he couldn't play defense against people. I just feel like that's the weirdest narrative that you would write out there. We lost because our defensive player of the year guy couldn't guard someone. It don't work.
It's a fact. And then last thing for me too, like, what do you guys think about switching? That seems to be like a big topic right now. You look at the Hawks and that Cavs series, and LeVert was pretty much switching and leaving Markkanen on an island with Trey. To me, it's cringe when I see it, especially late in the game. You leaving your pretty much like you're saying with Gobert, like in a smaller lineup type deal, and you set the screen and you're just leaving him out there. Yeah, you're just leaving him out there with an elite perimeter player. It's a death wish. So, what's your guys'
almost like what Amber said, know your personnel. Honestly,
but you can't take him off the floor because the rebounding, and he shoots pretty good from the free throw line. So it's like, if you're Quinn Snyder, like, damn, what do I do? Because I need rebounding, shot blocking, free throw shooting is pretty good. You can't take him out, but what do I do? Like, do you get caught in that crosshair of?
That's what Nick said. Man. Break it up. That's what you do. That's what you do.
They got to make some big changes after this year.
They're gonna sign them divorce papers, Nick. The divorce papers is coming.
They got to. I'm sorry, but Utah's a team that's just not getting anywhere. I'm sorry.
I've always wondered, and it could be just because they're so much better when you get to the NBA level, and I've never seen it or participated in anything like that. But like high school and college, like if you ever set a pick, sometimes our defense, more defensive minded, was you trap the ball handler, you just double team them right away instead of letting the offense bring another defender around and you just double team and go straight to the ball. That way you can't really have a good passing lane. The NBA, you never really see that. The big man don't hedge it and just totally commit to the ball handler a lot. It's always like, hey, we're either going to switch or go over the top.
They used to hedge hard, but now guards have gotten so smart with the ball in their hands. It's difficult to hedge. You got to have a real, because I remember Kevin Garnett back in his Boston days. He used to hedge a lot. But we're talking about Kevin Garnett. But I'm just saying that hedge, even in college, if you watch college game has evolved. They don't even hedge like that in college anymore because the guards have gotten so good with the ball. And it's now
you can't follow them.
Yeah. And now the floor is spread. You got all that room to operate. What?
Right.
Like, you giving me this much room. It's all about spacing. Everything's about spacing. Like, I wish somebody would double team me at 34 years old. I can still make the right play. As long as my head is up, I'm gonna still make the right play. But the way the game is played now is too much spacing. So you just gonna get barbecue chickened, or you just something's gotta give because of the spacing. The spacing is immaculate now.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, it is 11:30 my time. I think most of y'all are East Coast as well. We've been on for almost 2 hours now. Amber, thank you so much for joining here. I think we need to go ahead and start wrapping this up. Amber, by all means, you can join us anytime you want.
Anytime.
Go ahead, if you don't care, give your shout outs where everybody can follow you, what you're doing now, whatever you want to do. This time is yours to just tell us who you are again.
It's been a while, ladies and gentlemen, and robots and everything in between. But I am Amber Vickers. You can follow me on Twitter at simplyme_AV. I work for NFL Films, so my time is very limited, but it was great to talk hoops with you guys.
Yes, ma'am.
I miss you guys so much, and I'm able to watch basketball now, so that's great. I miss you though. I miss talking hoops. It's just my schedule is just a little weird.
Listen, let me tell you, it's really weird when I talk about how hot some of these guys are, and they're like, and you're not here. CJ and Nick is like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
I'm very I can say
Michael,
that.
just cut that conversation. Just cut it completely.
So you just look up, you make sure the game is on. You're just looking up at the game, making sure,
Because when I saw, let me tell you this, guys, real quick. When I saw Devin Booker, when he walked past me at the Super Bowl, I said, whoa, first of all, he's tall. I said, I got to tell Michael. Like, I got to put it in the chat. I got to tell Michael Devin Booker just walked right past me with his lady friend. One of the Jenners? Kendall, Kyle, I don't know.
I'm not going to act like I know, but it was Kendall. I mean, I have no idea for sure.
I said he is tall.
We already know Michael's jealous.
Yeah, Michael was, he was very well dressed. Michael, he was cool. He had his shades on. I was like, Michael would have loved. Mike, you probably would have passed out. You probably been like a groupie. You would have passed out.
No. Anyways, CJ, let's hear from your stuff.
Guard Up Podcast, The Hard Count, streaming every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, on USN, all the USN platforms, on social media, Count the Bucket, every Sunday, 9:30 p.m. Twitch, CJ versus the World.
Nick.
Dope. As you guys all know, follow me on Twitter at Nick Andre ATR. Check out Agua Andre Hoop Truthers. New episode is releasing tomorrow. Make sure to check that out. We have a playoff preview featuring the Hoopers Pod. And then, of course, always check us out here. Count the Bucket every Sunday night. Never miss a beat.
And, of course, check us out on Twitter with Count Bucket USN. You can follow me, MD Lawson00, pretty much on any platform. Excuse me. Link in the bio for the link tree that has everything going on. I also have a show on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's backstop banter, everything to do with baseball with Anthony Conover, who's been in the chats, dogging me a few comments here of the knowledge and then me, but that's who he is. But guys, thank you all so much. And of course, follow us on all the podcasts that we've got them on all the platforms there. So thank you all so much. Again, guys, thank you all for joining the show with us. And until next time, you all have a good day.